just make sure that I listen to what he says, make sure there's no surprises.
Right.
Otherwise, I just kind of zone out and think about what I'm going to be doing next.
Is there a game plan? As Mike Wilson was looking out against Sean, was there a game plan that you try to go with after you study a fighter?
I mean, I'm sure that, you know, you go over in the back what you're going to do right before you come out.
Right.
But, you know, usually, depending on how
across the ring, there's just nothing there. It's just go get him.
Sometimes.
Just sometimes. As Sean has Mike pinned against the ring on the far side. And this is just an upward, is there any way of stopping this as it gets going?
Well, right now, Sean has the double underhooks, and from a grappling position, well, now he's dropping down for a double leg, but he's leaving his head in, which could definitely turn into a guillotine if Mr. Wilson locks that up. But right now he's also, now he's going to a single leg, so
already some blood on Mike Wilson's arm. I'm not sure if that's coming from Sean or from Mike. In the blue gloves, it's Mike Wilson. In the red gloves, Sean Carow from Capital MMA. He's got a leg lock. He's trying for a leg lock here. If he can spin that around.
Yeah, definitely looking like he's really trying to finish that single leg. He might want to try. Well, no, now it's out. Okay, now they're breaking out with some strikes. Very nice.
All these fights here in the amateur division are 3 minutes. 3 rounds for 3 minutes. As he's back up against the cage, Mike Wilson taking the aggressive.
See, working side. Nice, good ankle pick.
Little ankle kick on a half guard, right? As I'm looking at this, Mike really is trying to be the upper guy on this, and I was surprised. I thought Mike might sit back a little bit, but there's some blood coming from Sean's nose.
Definitely.
Now, what's the rule with the referee and the blood? Do they have to stop, or does it continue in MMA?
I think as long as it's usually it will just be from cuts, and that's only if it affects the fighter's vision. So as long as the blood isn't actually going into the fighter's eyes, I believe that you should be okay.
Now, Mike Wilson, obviously working over at Royal Martial Arts, has probably have a few fighters in here this evening. As we see a leg lock for both fighters as they try to make both of these guys look like a leg lock. Looks like Sean might have a little bit better bite on his.
I think Sean's definitely working that heel hook, and they got to watch it. Legs akimbo.
I see a Mike Wilson saying that no, he's not going to tap, that he doesn't have it.
I think at the moment that Wilson's okay, but he's definitely got a good grip on that heel, and if he torques that,
I'm not so sure that I've ever seen Mike Wilson quit, though. I don't know if I've ever seen him tap out of a fight. I think I'd rather see, Mike has always said, I'd rather pass out than tap out.
Yeah, I think the only times I've seen him lose were him getting legitimately finished.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 seconds left in the round here, round number 1. Round number 1 being brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Mike Wilson still on top on the half guard, and there's the siren. Who are you going to give round 1 to this amateur fight here between Wilson and Carow?
I don't know. That was back and forth. Maybe just because Wilson ended up on top at the end, the judges might give it to him that way, but I don't know. To tell you the truth, I think that one was pretty even.
As I sit here and look, both fighters seem pretty well in shape. Carow here, they're trying to correct the blood. As I listen to the corner, it's like you got to roll over on the leg is what I heard him say. Roll over on the leg. What's he talking about?
I think what they're talking about is changing the angle when they go for the leg locks. Sometimes if you don't have the right angle, it's really hard to put the pressure and actually finish the submission.
As the ring girls come through, round number 2 here, being brought to you by DEFCON Productions. Here at Operation Octagon 20 between Sean Carow and Mike Wilson. How long in between the rounds do they get?
Usually about a minute. Sometimes it drags on a little longer if the corner drops something, but as you'll see, the ref is definitely forcing the fighter's corners out, and they do have to get out with at least some haste.
Referee for this first event had been Null. The doctor for this evening's fight, Dr. Prom from Virginia Beach. He'll be sitting alongside the cage, making sure that everybody is okay.
Ready.
The cut looks to be on top of Sean's head. I thought that was coming from his nose. That could create a problem later on in the fight if that starts to leak down in front of his face. As you see, Wilson take a full guard, right?
Yes. Wilson hit the takedown, and now Sean's working his full guard game, trying to I think he's trying to work the stand up, controlling the wrist, or at least work the standing. Mike Wilson trying to posture up, trying to strike from the guard. Very nice
There's
elbow.
A great
very
elbow
nice.
by Mike Wilson.
Very calm. Wilson's very calm in the guard.
That's just experience in the ring right there. That's just seeing a lot of time and being in here. Because you guys train, and you don't necessarily, not every gym has an 8-sided octagon.
Right, absolutely. Sometimes...
So you just don't get a lot of chances with the cage and seeing how that works. And a lot of times what will happen is I've seen in the past that the mat will get a little slippery when fighters get down on the ground. So it's great to see somebody with such composure on there, especially in the first fight of the evening on Operation Octagon 20.
Absolutely.
Is he still on the full guard here as he mounts on the top? Mike Wilson, Sean is just trying desperately to get out of this. Is he going to expend a lot of energy trying to do this?
Right now he's not. Right now he's not putting too much energy forward. He's kind of just hanging out, working the strike, a little bit of pitter patter. Mike probably wants to try and pass the guard and get past his legs, because Sean can still work submissions from the guard, and eventually he can still work to get up. But if Mike can pass, he can at least start to dominate and keep him down.
Now the blood is starting to pour. It looks like it could be coming from his nose and his head as we start to look at Sean Carow down on the ground. This could turn into a situation. Bidnall stands both fighters up. Now, when he stands both fighters up, if I'm under the impression that there must be some sort of move being happened. And the roundhouse kick by Mike Wilson
right
misses.
Into the triangle.
Right
back
into
the triangle. All right. Or not.
Sean Carow gets out of that. Mike Wilson gets out of that. Sean still takes a full mount on the top. Looks like he's got that forearm along the throat area.
Putting that pressure, keeping his head down. Now Mike's got to work, feet in the hips, generally to make space. With his head against the cage, though, that makes it a little bit harder to do.
Rule along the cages is now that you can't hang on to the cage ever.
Well, you can post on it, you just can't put your fingers, and I believe now you can't put your toes. You used to get away with putting your toes through, but now I believe any single digits aren't allowed to actually pass that surface.
As you see Sean Carow take a side mount here, this is a half guard as he takes Mike Wilson to the ground, trying to get on top.
Yeah, right now Sean's in a bit of a side control, leg over the head, kind of north-south, going for the arm. He's got a good chance for an arm bar.
Mike Wilson, this could be trouble.
Absolutely. He's got the leg over. He's trying to break the grip. Mike's fighting for that grip.
This could be trouble. 10 seconds.
If he gets that extended. That's a tap. That's a tap. Very nice.
That's the first time I've seen him tap. What a great move as he rolled over on the armbar by Sean Carow.
Very nice rollout. Very nice submission.
Sean's going to need some stitches in the top of that head. I'm sure Dr. Braun's going to come over and take a look at that. Mike Wilson, a great competitor. I don't think I've ever seen him tap out like that or even get caught in that type of armbar before.
Absolutely. Definitely great composure by both fighters, especially Mike after a disappointing defeat for him. You know, first thing he does is hug his opponent, and you know, you can't ask for much more.
That's probably where you lose me right there. As soon as I get beat up, I'm probably a little bit salty.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you see it as more of a sport, it does change it up a little bit.
So as both fighters stand in the middle of the ring with Bidnall, Sean Carow comes out a winner here. Winner probably, what, with about 2 seconds left in round number 2 with an armbar. I was surprised he almost didn't stick it out. I mean, he only had about 2 seconds left.
I mean, you know, sometimes fighters panic. Other times, you know, with the choke, you can probably last out. You can probably try and gauge it, especially if you know how much time's left. But when it's an arm or a joint and you feel it, if you feel it going, sometimes you just got to do what you have to do.
Let's get the call from Rebecca.
Arm block. Out of the red corner, it's Sean Carow.
Great armbar. That's one of the best submissions that I've seen in a while out here. I mean, normally you get into these amateur fights and you can't see the technique like you normally see. And those are just 2 veteran dudes that you just see out here. That it was a great way to kick off this Operation Octagon.
Absolutely, great fight. A couple flashy kicks from Mr. Wilson to keep us all awake.
I'm sure Mike's going to go back and think about that one. But you know what's funny is I bet the next Operation Octagon, I bet we see Mike right back out here in the Octagon.
Oh, I'm sure.
That guy just doesn't have a quit in him. Now Sean Carow's going to leave the ring after he gets his trophy.